Hi, this is Helen from In Tune Parenting, and in this video, we're going to talk about the 6 stages of development. Stay tuned. In Tune Parenting. So as you know, our children go through many phases of development. Dr. Harville Hendrix identified 6 key stages of development. These stages will give you a really good outline so that you can be sure that you're approaching each stage appropriately. So the first stage occurs in the 0 to 18 month age group. And this is what he calls the attachment phase. Now we've probably all heard about this. And for me, the attachment phase was definitely the easiest to parent. So during the attachment phase, your baby is really focused on developing a secure attachment with their primary caregiver. This is the time whenever they need to know that their needs are going to be attended to quickly and efficiently. So whenever your baby cries, they need you to come and lift them up and soothe them. When they're hungry, you'll feed them. When they're cold, you'll put more clothes on and keep them warm. All these kind of things. All that you really need to be sure of is that you are responding to your child's needs quickly and efficiently. So it's probably the easiest stage. The next stage is from 18 months to 3 years. And this stage can quite commonly be referred to as the terrible twos. This is the phase of exploration, where your child is busy exploring the world around them. They're getting into everything, they're pulling everything to pieces. It's all about exploration, it's all about learning about the world, how their body moves. This is when they realize that they are a separate being from their mother or parent, that they have their own will, their own drive, their own curiosity. So the parent's role at this stage, the phase of exploration, is to provide a safe environment. So as long as you are keeping your home safe, you can allow your child to explore freely, and therefore they are going to fulfill what they need in themselves at that age. You're going to face a lot less tantrums and a lot less power struggles if you allow your child the freedom to explore. At 3 to 4 years, they go through the phase of developing their identity. So around 3 to 4 years old, they will start to see themselves as an individual person. And this is where self-awareness, or at least the buds of self-awareness, begin to develop. And this is really a key time for you as a parent to allow your child to try on many different hats. So your children at this stage are quite likely very into playing dress up, maybe imagining being a mommy, looking after a dolly, or maybe pretending that they're a racing car driver, or Bob the Builder, and they will so they will behave and they will act out all these different characters. And as a parent, you can really help that by, treating them like that character. So whenever they take on a character, to play along. And this really helps them in that stage of their development, because they get to experience what it'll be like to be all these different characters. And that helps them to get a better idea of their own character and who they are and who they would like to be, so that they develop and form that in themselves. If your child is dressing up and always wanting to be somebody else, and you tell them, don't do that, don't do that, be yourself, and really you're being positive and you're trying to encourage them to be true to themselves because you love who they are whenever they're just, being their own character and not being another character. But it's not actually helpful. And so a lot of people will be unaware of that. Actually, what that's doing is teaching them that this strong desire that they have, which is a normal part of their development, is in some way wrong. And so they learn to behave in the way that's going to please you and keep you happy, instead of actually responding to their deepest desires. To give them the freedom to explore these different identities, and yet allow them to know that you still feel like they're absolutely perfect just being themselves. But that you play along with the game, you give them lots of opportunities to dress up, lots of opportunities to play pretend. But, it's not the only is not the only way. You can encourage them to branch out in other areas and to explore other sides of things. Another big thing that happens at this age is they'll start developing interests and part of their own identity of who they are. So, for example, my daughter Laura got very, very into ballet, and she's a ballerina. And she, whenever she had just turned 3, she went through a phase where she only wanted to wear a ballet dress. So she had an entire wardrobe of ballet dresses because it had to be a tutu if she was going to wear it. It became part of her identity. At this age, because they're so focused on identity, children really love to get a very clear message and understanding of who they are and what their position is in the family. So if at this age, you can vocalize it at this age, they're old enough to really engage in conversation with you. And so you can speak to them a lot about their position in the family, your expectations of them and who you expect for them to be. And using a lot of we statements also helps. So if they learn in this family, we all help out or we all tidy up, then, saying things like we tidy up. This is part of who we are. And, you might even use your surname. So in my example, my name is Helen Schwierst. So in my example, I might say, oh, you're a Schwierst girl. So as a Schwierst girl, this is the way we behave. It's a way of imparting your expectations as a parent, what the family values and morals are, and just, helping to mold your child into the sort of adult that you're hoping they'll become, helping them to guide them on the path while still encouraging them to stay true to their own nature. The next stage between age 4 and 7 is the stage of competence. So at this age, you'll find your child is really mastering all those skills that they developed during the toddler and preschool years, really honing them, and they at this stage they have a real strong desire to master things. So they'll become interested in things like reading and writing and learning. They'll become thirsty for knowledge, and they just that enthusiasm has got to be harnessed. So at this age, it is the perfect age for trips to the library, bringing them to museums, bringing them to the zoo, even just going on a nature walk and pointing things out and really talking about what's around and really giving them projects to do. It's a fun age. It's a really great age. And of course it's school age, so you can imagine yourself, if you've got a child younger than this and this is something in your future, it's whenever your child gets to that stage, that school age stage, where they can already ride their bike and they can already feed themselves and dress themselves and do all those kind of things. This is the stage where you just get to have lots of fun practicing, because they're focused on mastering this skill. And, a lot of these activities are fun for you to do as a parent too. So you can join in and you can play games with them, where it's not really you in the parent role, but you can actually, enjoy a game with them, board games and things like that. They understand rules and they just really, really want to hone all their skills and really master things. You can really support your child at this stage by, allowing them to choose their own clothes, allowing them to tie their own shoes, or if they don't already know, teaching them the skills and allowing them to really hone in on those, even if it takes you an extra 20 minutes to get out the door. Allowing your 4-year-old, 5, 6, 7-year-old to really look after themselves and to do these kind of things, maybe make themselves a sandwich, fetch their own glass of water, do all those kind of things for themselves. It takes a little bit longer, which can be frustrating as a parent, but you will really see great rewards from that because they will feel really happy and really at ease in themselves. All along the road, each of these key developments, there is, a wound can occur. And so there is just, you need to be really mindful of what is developing at each of these stages. Allow it to develop well. Wounds formed during these key phases of development need to be healed in adulthood. Between 7 and 13 is the age of concern. What this means is your child is really beginning to become a social creature. They get very, very interested in having a social group. They get very interested in what their peers will think of them. Friendships become so important, and at this stage usually they are same-sex friendships. But of course, you know, they'll also include children of the opposite sex, but definitely their preference is to really like chum around and to find somebody who is like them, that really, you know, it builds on their identity that they have formed and all the other steps of development that came up this far. So for example, if they were really, really good at maths, they may get friends with somebody who's also really, really good at maths. And they start noticing the things they have in common with their peers. They really, really want to feel like somebody else, so everybody else is doing it. That's the kind of the catchphrase of this age group. They want to be the same as their friends. They want to be part of a group. They want to be part of the family, and they want to be accepted within the family very, very strongly. And at the same time, they're identifying with people outside the family. That need becomes much stronger. Up until that point, you know, friendships, you know, they'll take them or leave them, the friendships, and they won't feel as attached necessarily to the friends that they make at that in the earlier stages. But certainly from 7 to 13 and beyond, those friendships become very, very important. So you can support your child at this stage by encouraging them to meet their peers, to form peer groups. You can help them, you know, by being there for them if they are if they're trying to navigate through things like bullying and teasing, talking to them, keeping communication open in the home, being there for your child to come back and talk to you about these things so that they can process it. Really, your job at this age is to allow them to experience the world, but to be there for them, so that whenever, if anything goes wrong, they always have that secure base, that they always have somewhere to fall back, always have somewhere to come back to, and they know that attachment is still there from infancy. You know, they know that they have you, and they know that you have their back, and that they can always come to you for advice, and that you will always love them unconditionally. It's so important for them. You know, this is the age where they will become much more vocal about their need for private space and their need for more togetherness. They will also become much more aware of themselves, and they will become much more aware of who they are within society, who they are within their social group, their role. And they will become very, very strong about that, and they will want to express that more. Age 13 to 19 is the age of intimacy. It's when your child will begin to show interest in having a partnership, in having a relationship with someone of the opposite sex or same sex, as the case may be. They will begin to reach out and look for a partner to see them through life, a sexual partner, and you know, it's probably the stage where they will experience their first crush, and that they will fall in love for the first time, and they'll get to experience all that lovely stuff. And again, your job is just to be there for them and to just support them, to, you know, help them and be there for them while they navigate through it on their own. So it's again a little bit about giving them freedom, a little bit about letting go. As my own mother says, life is all just a series of letting go, and she sure is right, you know. So after that is adulthood, you know. So that's the 6 stages of key development in childhood. As long as each of these developments go smoothly and there are no wounds during each of those phases, the result will be a responsible adult, a self-aware adult, an adult who is so sure of their own identity and of themselves that they're able to take on the world. So those are the 6 key stages of development. Thank you for watching, and I'll be back tomorrow with another video. If you liked this video, please click like below and subscribe to my channel for more videos just like this one.